Thank you for that amazing introduction. We are Westchester Branding Group, here to pitch our campaign to rebrand Los Angeles. My name is Mackenzie Beck.
I'm Jack Keffer.
I'm Nick Velasquez.
And I'm Evelyn Jung.
So, as many of you know, as you're planning a new campaign, research is key. Our main question was, why Los Angeles? Why do people come here? Why do people love it? Why? Our main research question was, why do people love Los Angeles for the business community? So our research question led to our different methods. The Mad Lib surveys, our focus groups, one-on-one and in-depth interviews. We ended up compiling all the words that describe Los Angeles. We used these to drive our campaign. Based on our research, we compiled these descriptive words that were used by the respondents to describe Los Angeles business, community, and culture. Through this research, we gained insights to what distracts people to come and live in Los Angeles, using this to drive our creative campaign. Now Nick will cover our secondary research.
Wow, thank you, Mackie. All right. Taking a look at California at a glance, as you can see, it's broken down by the number of establishments upon each state. And the state of California has amazing opportunities in terms of professional, scientific, and technical services. And you may be wondering, wow, California is a lot bigger state than the rest of these. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that California is amazing in terms of growth. As you can see, this is a graph of the employment by selected industry in California. Construction was up by 34,000 jobs in from 2013 to 2014, a 5.3% increase. New infrastructure equates to new opportunities. Professional and business services were up by 4.5%. Due to resources and advantages that only California has, this is a huge asset to us. This graph represents individuals inbound to these counties from the sectors of management, business, science, and arts. Los Angeles has attracted a melting pot of professionals from all over the United States. LA County outnumbered San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Boston, and in terms of numbers of out-of-state talent. Similarly, this graph shows inbound graduates into these counties. LA County has been bringing in more graduates than New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and Boston. Graduates know LA is the perfect place to get their future started. LA shows no signs of slowing down. Employment is on the rise. It hit its peak number of employment with roughly 4.5 million Angelenos strong in 2013. LA has been the hub of new businesses the last couple years. In 2013, LA totaled roughly 380,500 businesses. And in 2014, that number went up by 25,000 businesses. There's something special here, and it's our time to take advantage of it.
With the result of our secondary and primary research, we came to three main conclusions. First, we are attracting a younger generation. Los Angeles is attracting more and more college graduates than any other large city. Secondly, businesses are sprouting everywhere, which brings us to our third point. And annual employment growth is growing. With all the new businesses, employment has grown each year, and we don't see it stopping. And then that concludes us to, voila, we created our Live LA campaign.
The City of Angels, a city of creativity, a capital of diversity, and a heart of innovation. Los Angeles is a city of potential, a potential that is constantly growing, a city that is thriving and becoming greater than just a city itself. LA is a culture. LA is a lifestyle. Los Angeles is a brand that we all acknowledge. LA has become the home of a multitude of dreamers, a home for people with aspirations, a home for people to strive, adapt, and create. LA is a life source, a constant of moving, growing, changing energy. It is chaos. It is random. Los Angeles is synergy. Imagine what the city can do for you. Come and live LA.
Thanks, Nick. So our Live LA campaign mainly targets specifically 25 to 40-year-old businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, those within large and small companies, not only within Los Angeles, but also outside of Los Angeles. We've also reached out to a secondary target market focusing on college students, those that are new to LA and also those that were born and raised in LA. It's important for us to be able to reach out to these college students because they're going to be the next generation of business leaders. So what is our campaign exactly about? The Live LA campaign empowers organizations and individuals to pursue increasing opportunities. What does that mean? Basically, we're encouraging businesses to adopt the LA culture because Los Angeles, as defined by our Live LA campaign, entrusts the city's potential into the hands of its diverse business leaders to make amazing happen. Our unique selling proposition focuses on 3 facts of LA. It is a culture, it is a lifestyle, and it is already an existing brand. We take these 3 facts to entice business leaders to come as they are and live LA. Los Angeles is not just a city, it is a culture, it is a lifestyle, and it is an existing brand that is going to drive the success of what is already here within the business community. Our campaign recognizes that there is awareness and interest that was really going to build the desire to come to Los Angeles and has been specifically structured to reflect this diagram. So let's talk about exactly what our campaign focuses on. It is an 8-month campaign, and every month there's going to be a different theme. For example, in March we'll be partnering with TED Talk, and through partnering with TED, we'll be focusing on the diversity of Los Angeles. In July, we'll be sponsoring Restaurant Week, focusing on famous chefs. And for example, in August, we'll be focusing on tech outside of Silicon Beach in Los Angeles. So basically, our campaign brings 2 target markets together. It brings businesses and it brings students. And we really aim to be able to connect the 2 by bringing businesses to students and students to businesses. And in this way, we will be presenting the Live LA monthly speaker series, where we will be partnering with 10 different universities within LA. Notice that we have chosen large, small, private, public, as well as art and fashion industries to really reflect the talent and potential that Los Angeles has. And now that we've been able to connect both of our target markets on a monthly basis through industries every single month, how are we really going to mobilize our campaign? We've developed a mobile application specifically because business leaders are always on their mobile devices. Emails are constantly coming in, you're saving all your important data onto these devices. But not only are business leaders really drawn to survive off of these digital applications, so are college students. And therefore, we are placing awareness, interest, as well as desire into the palm of both of our target markets. The Live LA campaign will be able to connect students as well as companies simply by tapping which you would rather choose, companies or students. This is basically going to be a Tinder for business, letting businesses, entrepreneurs see students and letting students see their choices of what industries are within the area. But how are they going to know? Simply by enabling or disabling your location services, you'll be able to choose what kind of area you would like to expand your network. Building off of our mobile application, we also have a personal QR code for each user, specifically drawn towards students. Students don't have business cards, but when they're at every monthly campaign, when companies are coming, they really want to be able to network with entrepreneurs on the same level. In this sense, when an employer meets a student and is really inclined to be able to connect with them and network with them, an employer simply needs to take out his application, pull out the scanning code, and scan the student's mobile device, where his personal information, his resume, as well as any kind of references he'd like to include would be downloaded into the employer's device, making it easier to network not only for employers, but also for students. So what other events is really going to build our campaign and really get people to talk about it? We're going to be hosting a Live LA concert in the month of June where we focus on the music industry. On the surface, this may just seem like any other typical music concert, but what really sets this apart is that every person who decides to purchase a ticket to come to this concert will be able to submit a track. And what I mean by a track is that they can submit a mix, they can submit a cover of a song, or they can even submit their own personal original song. And all of these tracks will be pooled into one area for record studios to listen to and choose from. If they're interested, they'll be able to contact those people with their tracks. And therefore, being able to connect the LA record studios and helping them find potential business partners within the LA and also those in the surrounding Los Angeles area. The following month, we'll be focusing on the tech focus in Los Angeles, where we'll have our Live LA Tech Expo. And this particular expo will be also, again, driven by connecting businesses with students by allowing students a discounted option as long as they have a university email upon registration. But another part of our Another interesting part about our Tech Expo is that every flyer will have an embedded QR code, therefore taking our application, really being able to expand it beyond just the network, but also being able to extract information. And by scanning all of these flyers, they will be able to get any kind of details, any kind of updates, or any kind of ticket purchasing necessary for this event. Aside from this, the following month, we have our focus on art in Los Angeles, where we appreciate real talent for LA. This will be focused in 16 different districts within Los Angeles, where we will be pairing an artist as well as a local business company, and they will be able to work together to create a mural within the city. And how will this exactly be published throughout and really get people to talk about it? Snapchat is going to sponsor it, and this will create a geo-specific location areas where people can constantly see real-time updates of what murals are being painted and where they are being painted. Now that I've really covered the experiential side of our campaign, Jack is going to talk more about bringing awareness into our campaign.
Thanks, Evelyn. So as you can see, our campaign focuses primarily on experiential aspects. However, we also want to reinforce the campaign with a multitude of more traditional marketing avenues as well as some PR efforts. The hopes is that these efforts will not only affect people locally, but also bring our campaign nationwide. So, to start off, I want to start talking about a lookbook. We want to introduce a very selective lookbook that highlights businesses in LA that have made a splash in the past year, influential business leaders, as well as influential business practices. The lookbook will be targeted at CEOs within the LA area as well as the greater nation, with hopes that the lookbook will be displayed on a CEO's desk or in a company lounge. Secondly, we are choosing to pay for print media ads like this in these 9 very influential business magazines. Although we cannot pay for articles because most of these magazines do not take paid articles, we can also provide them with VIP access to a lot of our experiential events in order to prompt earned media. Secondly, what would a modern marketing campaign be without social media? So, we're going to use the hashtag LiveLA to engage our audience as well as learn real-time feedback about the campaign itself. We're going to use the 3 most trafficked social networking sites, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our Facebook page will serve as a way to update our consumer or viewers, as well as we will use Facebook's research and development tools in order to target our marketing efforts towards a very specific audience so that every single impression we serve is an impression that counts. Instagram. Our Instagram will be focused off will be based off the monthly trends or the monthly theme every month, and we'll highlight an influential business leader, a influential business, or specific practice in their daily routine. Lastly, Twitter. As we all know, Twitter serves as a great way to create, to deliver general news to the public, like Google's recent purchase of the land just off the bluff. So we will use it to deliver news about current businesses in LA, as well as prompt, let the audience, let our Twitter followers know about all our experiential events occurring. Lastly, I want to touch on the budget. So, as you can see, we've dedicated most of our time to experiential, which is because we truly believe that actions speak louder than words. And lastly, I want to quickly touch on the fact that we have not reached our full budget, And this is because we wanted to have enough money for a contingency plan because, as we all know, LA is extremely fast-paced and very innovative, and we want to be able to tackle certain, trends that pop up here and there so our campaign stays current.
Thank you, Jack. So here we have created a media schedule to keep us on track, staying focused to all our different themes of the week. For example, or themes of the month. For example, Fashion Week. We want to piggyback onto LA's already Fashion Week that's happening in October and have our Live LA campaign sponsored to create buzz and to create involvement between our campaign and the already existing LA culture. So Nick, how will we know if we're successful?
We're going to measure the KPIs. By doing this, we're going to keep track of the retention rate of college graduates. 2, bring new businesses to Los Angeles, or track the new businesses in Los Angeles. And 3, track the employment growth in Los Angeles. I'd like to thank you guys all for your time, and the Westchester Branding Group would like to invite you to come as you are and live LA.
Give Jerry, please. So I wanted to congratulate you on a couple of nuances that might not otherwise be obvious to people. So one is the diversity you're showing in the different months, and one of them was around technology that's not Silicon Beach, that looked very much more along the lines of physical product development and design and those types of things. And most people don't realize that LA is the largest manufacturing center in the country. So I think that that's great that you're showing that other side of LA that's not just a stereotype. And also the other piece, people kind of chuckled a little bit about the Tinder for students and businesses, but one of the biggest challenges is the retention of college students, and a lot of them just don't even really realize what the opportunities are. So that would be a real opportunity, I think. And the one thing that I was really missing in the presentation was more of a certain personal touch to it. There are a lot of really beautiful images, but I didn't hear individual personal stories. There's a lot of more generalities where I would like to hear real concrete stories and hear from individuals and see pictures of individuals a little bit more than you did. Thanks.
Thank you.
He's gonna go. Great job. It did seem to me as you presented that the focus of your campaign is really on folks who are already here. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, I think you want to celebrate all the great things that are here, and certainly it plays into the retention of college students very well. But how do you translate that into the broader world and get people to learn about LA and actually want to come here?
I'll go ahead. Okay, so I think that it's important to really create events that are happening within LA because you want people to talk about LA. And to get people to talk about it, then people learn about it. And if there's so much buzz going on about all the big events that are happening within the city, ideally that would really pull in earned media and therefore creating more people to talk about it and then getting it more slowly spreading out into the other areas. As Jack kind of touched upon, we're hoping to aim those 9 business magazines, and that's those readers are our main target audience. And to be able to really do that is to create something that's happening here that makes people realize the potential that LA has and what's already happening, so that people don't want to be too late before it's over, which hopefully it won't be over, but yeah.
One thing I think our events really help is if someone came to visit for, say, they out of town and they really like Restaurant Week, so they came to LA and they attended one of our events, and then that gives them the opportunity to network and hopefully find their next job. And then, because no one wants to move out here without a job, so this gives you an opportunity to network and then move your family or move yourself out here to get that, to work for that job.
Exactly.
So I loved your campaign, and I thought it could work equally well also for a Convention and Visitors Bureau, the whole come and live it here. It was great. My one thought was that a lot of the things we've seen tonight, and yours in particular, focus a lot on this kind of just out of college student, but young people coming here is great, but how are we going to get people that have money and businesses to move here that are a little bit older? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, that was our main, first main target So our first target audience was the 25 to 45-year-olds. And so to get them, we want them to come to our events, and that is what drives our campaign. Is mostly it's event driven, so people are experiencing LA and their industry. So I think that's how we'd want to reach them. I know a lot of colleges, but it also could be for that younger generation or people that are trying to switch into different industries. And so I think that.
I'd like to add, I think people with money are usually the people who own those businesses. And I think, I personally think that if a company heard that there was something like the Live LA campaign where they can have like monthly opportunities to come talk to 10 different campuses, where you can reach like a bunch of students of a lot of potential, you want to bring these people who are already like coming to these events because they're interested in success, they're interested in like what is growing and what is happening, and they want to be part of it. And I think being able to provide this option of monthly campaigns makes someone like in the big league say like, hey, like send someone out there because I want to make sure that my company is part of that.
I think you had a very interesting notion in Come As You Are. I think Los Angeles is about coming as you are, and I think you had an opportunity to reach out to businesses and young people to come as you are, because here you're not judged about, you know, what you look like or what your lifestyle is. It's what your ideas are and how you can contribute, and I think you could build on that notion in the campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can do more?
No, well,
Yeah.